Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to preview round 12 of the 2025 NRL Supercoach season. So big bye week, and a few of you may have noticed I was missing in action. So haven't even got around to checking the YouTube stuff yet, but basically I was off on a little adventure. Shout out to Lady Elliot Island Resort. Great fun out there. And shout out to the University of Georgia. There was a bunch of marine biology students out there, really polite young people, and all of them quite good looking too, male and female varieties. So well done, University of Georgia. You've got a new fan in me. But yeah, crazy week. Just got home, quick shower, got the jersey on, ready for the game tonight. So I thought we'd quickly go through, at least do a preview. Round 11 wasn't worth talking about. So yeah, top trade outs this week. Number one, Dylan Egan. Sounds like he's out with an ACL. So yeah, he is a sell. He's made us 300k. Best of luck, a champion in your recovery. Jacob Kiraz was one we were banking on this week, but unfortunately has done a calf. 800k does buy you a lot, but I do see him as a season-long keeper. So I'm going to try and hold as much as I can. I'm hoping he comes back after the Bulldogs bye. I believe it's next week from memory. I'm not too sure. But I think he's estimated around 15. So that'll be the second big buy anyway, and he'll be super helpful. Kalen Ponga, obviously playing Origin means he's not available for that nice buy coverage the Knights have. So you can chop him. Payne Haas, obviously playing Origin, but he is a keeper. So that injury, he should be back next week, all going to plan. They might rest him, which makes it a little bit trickier, but I think he's a hold. You don't want to trade out keepers. Jackson Purdue, so has sort of done his dash in terms of making money, I think, with 330k in the bank. But the Cowboys do have a really great run after this week. So I'd consider holding if I was an owner, but I long passed on him. Rob Toyer, I think he is a sell. Another one who's made us 300 and almost 50k. Given that he is playing Origin, means that he is going to play very few games for the Roosters in the coming weeks. So it's time to chop him. Nafahu White, not available this week. Hopefully back in time after their bye in round 14. So I'm considering holding, but I do have Egan to get rid of, Toya to get rid of, a couple others to get rid of. So yeah, if he's the one that is sort of keeping you out of a number this week, that's fine. If you've already got 14, 15, I'd try and hold him. He's going to be useful for the other buy rounds. Matty Nicholson, gone down injured with an ankle, so yeah, he is a chop. Yeah, so I guess Zach Hosking will be high on the trade-in list, I suppose. Bo Fermor on the bye this week and playing Origin, but I think he is almost a keeper in the centre wing, so I'd hold. And Nathan Cleary is another one I'd try and hold, just depending on your halves setup. Trade-ins this week. Number one, Adam Fanua-Blake. Makes sense. He covers this week. They do have the bye next week, so that's a one to just be mindful of. It's probably something I haven't looked too deeply into when you see my trades in a minute. But yeah, against the Roosters that are fairly undermanned in that forward pack, with his upside, I think it's a lock. James Tedesco, if you haven't got him, he is expensive, but worth it in my opinion. I've had him for a while. Same with Herbie Farnworth, had him for a while. Keeper this week, keeper for the rest of the season, bring him in. Zach Hosking offers great value in that second row. It's an easy switch from a Dylan Egan, those sort of picks, so I do like that. Xavier Savage is an interesting one. Probably last week was the time to get on, hoping he would go big against the Titans, and sure enough, he delivered. But yeah, I guess I'd rather maybe a Sam Rani if you're looking for a cheaper option. Just probably has a slightly better break even. Well, I haven't actually looked at Savage's, negative 27, so maybe not. I know Sam Rani's is negative. So yeah, I guess either of those options if you're looking for a cheap centre wing is fine. Kaeliro, centre wing keeper. I think you can sort of set and forget him if you bring him in. Tom Trbojevic is an interesting one. He's lost 300k on the start of the season, and he's still got a monster break even of 119. So might have a free look this week. What's Manly's schedule like coming up? I didn't check Manly's. So he plays 13, 14, 15. So they have a bye 16 and 19, which is pretty interesting. And I think that'll be their last two buys. So yeah, I guess like targeting around 15 against the Titans, yes, please. But yeah, next week the Broncos at Four Pines could be a nice matchup. Newcastle with their struggles, could be good. So yeah, I can understand people going against Parramatta, especially without Mitch Moses. But yeah, I guess if you're going from Kalen Ponga, it makes sense. But wait a week, I think. Joe Tarpening, keeper in the front row. Probably rather for Noah Blake, but I haven't checked the Raiders coverage too closely for buys. So they don't play 15 or 19. So I guess the Sharks give you that cover in 15. If you're pretty set for 15, you could look at Tarpany as a covering for around 18. But yeah, I guess I'd rather AFB. Cheaper as well, I've just noticed. Viliami Kikau. Yeah, I guess, the Bulldogs are a little bit undermanned with no Max King this week. No Kiraz coming out of the back. But, Kickout is always that interesting pod. It seems to crop up at certain times of the season. I don't hate it. I've seen a few people going Hopboy as well, the young second rower named to start in the front row. And he's a real goer too. So if I was looking at getting a cheapie in, um, that might be the way I'd go. I haven't looked too closely at cheapies. There's not a lot on this list other than those two listed there. But captains, real quick. What happened there? All coaches. Probably go top 10%, see what they're doing. Should have a good estimate now, given there's only a couple of hours to kick off. But Nico Hines, number one on the list, so is fairly highly owned in the top 10%, and those that are looking to captain him makes sense. James Tedesco, as you can see, is my choice, and again, in that later game, makes a lot of sense. Fanua Blake, if you've got him, I mean, it's all in that same game, fairly late. Joe Tarpany, so, these are very safe sort of captaincy options. A few people haven't updated theirs yet. They'd be fun with. A few people just going one out in the Bulldogs game tonight. Aaron Clark, with the form he's in, he'd be a solid captaincy option. And Ruben Garrick playing early in the round could be a nice VC. So if I just flip that, I did see Herbie and Ruben top two there. Fletcher Sharp playing fullback, albeit against the Panthers, but the Panthers are somewhat undermanned. Tom Trbojevic, I mean, if you've got him, might as well give him the VC. Mole Olakawatu, might feel a bit aggrieved not getting a game in Origin, so could be up for a big one. KP, no. Drinkwater, yeah. A few people not paying attention, but Dylan Lucas, Yongi, yeah, they're those high risk, high reward sort of options. But if we go to my team, I won't do the live trading thing. I'll just do the undo changes so you can see them in short. So basically, with Mitch Barnett getting picked for New South Wales, kind of done his job for us. So he's going to go. And I'm going to bring in Zach Hosking. Dylan Egan, obviously, is an unfortunate one out. But I can afford to go up to Dylan Lucas. So bringing in Dylan Lucas as a centre wing keeper, albeit I think he's in my second row currently. And then Kaeliro in for Rob Toyer. So as we said, Toyer missing with Origin duties. So yeah, if we have a look at the way the team stacks up this week, I'm missing one in the front row and one in the 5'8" spot, but I do have Sandon Smith on the bench, and I've got everything else full, which basically gives me 13 for this week. So obviously I was hoping for Kiraz, I guess Marzu, if you think back a couple of weeks ago. Nafai White was obviously one for this week. So, those sort of free hits have gone, and I'm just running with the 13 I've got. And like I said, I haven't put too much thought into future buy planning just because I've been away all week and just run out of time. So Herbie tonight is VC, just sort of, a bit of a security blanket. Hopefully the dogs do the job and keep him quiet. But Captain Teddy, I'm pretty comfortable with. So just lock him in the flex there. And if not, obviously I can, sub in Pappy and reserve him and all that sort of gear. So it's nice and easy. But yeah, team's looking pretty good in terms of value. Got a lot of keepers still there. So it's just trying to finesse this buy period as best we can. But yeah, that's the team. So we'll wrap the video up there. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the Supercoach content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.